Okay, hello, my name is Perry Matlock. My date of birth is October the 1st, 1950. Tonight, I want to be talking about Larry Garner, a friend of mine from the early 60s and 70s. Was killed by Harris County Sheriff's Department down at Harris County Jail. And somewhere around 1971. Larry was a friend of mine. I grew up on the north side of Houston, Texas, on Parker Road and Friendly, which Larry lived at Parker and Friendly. His mom and dad lived on down Parker Road, and his sister and his wife. I knew the whole family at one time when I was young, and Larry had some warrants out for his arrest for car theft because he was ahead of some kind of big car theft ring, international car theft ring, is what I understand. And this is when we was young. I was in my very early 20s, and Larry was just a couple of years older than me. And anyhow, somehow or another, he got arrested by Harris County Sheriff's Department, and I went up to the police station there, to the jailhouse with his wife a couple of times to see him, visit him. I just stayed in the car. I just rode with her up there to make sure she was safe. And then one night she told me that Larry wants her to bring $25,000 cash to the jailhouse. And when she came in the visitation room to bring it in with her, and a guy would meet her, and she was to give him this money, that he was going to let Larry out of jail at nighttime sometime. And of course, we was all young, and things was just crazy as could be anyway. So why not? You know, Larry had the money. So one night, me and her left over on Parker Road, and she drove. We drove down to the jailhouse there, and on Caroline, and from what I understand, just my knowledge of hearsay, because I didn't hear Larry ever come out and say this to me or anybody other than just conversation between me and his wife and what was going on. And I rode with her down there. She took a small grocery sack full of money, supposedly $25,000, supposed to give it to this jailer. And anyways, we went there. She went to visitation. She stayed there kind of late. It was past visitation when she came out, and we left. And that next night, Larry ended up dead. Supposedly, a door was left open there at the jail. I don't know where it was at, what door it was or anything like that. A door was left open, and he went through the door and out and crossed the street into a parking lot, headed to a car that had somebody driving that was there waiting on him, I guess. And from what I understand is he was supposedly shot with a .45 automatic some 300 feet away. And a Harris County Sheriff's officer shot him across he was up on the third floor, and he shot him out the third floor window across the street and across a parking lot, like 100 yards away with a .45 automatic. And I can't believe that supposedly hit him in the back and killed him instantly. And I don't know if people know much about guns or not. 100-yard shot with a .45 automatic is like, it would be like shooting a 5-mile shot with 30-06 or something like that. So, anyways, Larry lost his life over it. And, of course, we was all young, and everybody was scared. Anybody was scared to say anything because the police department was so corrupt back in those days. And I don't ever know what happened to Larry's wife or his mom or his sister or his dad. I know after Larry was killed, his wife stayed there on Parker Road in their house for a little over a year or something like that. She just disappeared. I don't know where she went to. I've lost contact with everybody. But it's still my concern to this day why nothing was ever brought up or nothing was ever looked into about the death and the murder of Larry Garner. I'm not saying that he was a good guy because, if he's a car thief, he was a car thief. Does that deserve losing your life? Does that deserve getting killed? And I don't know. And in the evening time, from a third-story window all the way across the street and looking 100 yards out across the parking lot, you couldn't tell who was who anyway. So why would anybody be shooting at anybody, whether they were running or whether they were whatever? And Larry loses his life, and it's all just quieting down and became hush-hush. Of course, I wouldn't involved in it. I'm not a member of Larry's family. I'm just a friend. And yes, I was concerned. A lot of other people were concerned. At that time, the police department was really corrupt. I mean, I hate to say that, but they were corrupt. And I'm just praying that maybe we can find out something or get something done this day and time to bring justice to Larry's death. My name's Matlock. Thank you for this little short interview.